Please don't. You don't need this anymore. Now, forest, it's your home. Thousands of people missing in the forest each year. Statistics, boring. But I know what's not boring is the fact that someone who comes back may not be the same. Oh no, it's not a Stephen King setup. Nope. But although it's very similar, a 3-year-old boy named Ryker Webb. His story is ordinary. He got missed in a forest and came back, was found. But that story spawned so many thousands of theories that it's more than enough to shoot the 3 seasons of the X-Files. The official version, it's really simple. The boy got lost, was wandering around and been found. But if to dig deeper, you can see that the Ryker Webb is not the same anymore. It seems like someone else came back instead of him. But what exactly happened in the forest? And why this story makes people nervous and force them to check their locks on the door? Let's move back to June 3rd, 2022, state of Montana and city of Troy. A wonderful, beautiful place that perfectly gonna fit the Windows wallpaper. Mountains, forest, idle. In that idle place lives an ordinary family of Webb. You know, 3-year-old boy was playing at his yard with his dog. A parent, his dad, according to him, he went back to the house just for a few minutes and came back and a boy is just missing. He's gone. The main witness, it's a dog. He was just chilling there and pretending that nothing has happened, which is already strange, isn't it? Well, that fact, it's a hide-and-seek game, and he started to look for him by himself. 1 hour passed, the second hour passed. Nothing. And then finally, they realized that they need to call 911. Isn't it weird? 2 hours passed since the boy is gone, and they just realized to do it. A forest full of mountain lions and a bear could easily be a dinner. That's the first break of distrust in this official story because, come on, if my boy is gonna miss, 5 minutes later, I'm gonna call 911, especially if I'm around the forest like here. Well, why it passed so long, there is no answers. Let's move on. Well, when they finally called 911, the massive operation began. ATVs, cars, a lot of people, everything like in a movie. But life felt it's not dramatic enough and switched to apocalypse mode. Thunderstorms. Visibility is 0. And drones and helicopters just useless. First day passed, a second night passed, and the hope was fading. Miracle happened on June 5th, when the local residents checked their shed because they heard some weird noises out of there. And it was a boy, Ryker Webb by himself, alive, frozen, hungry, but cool as a cucumber. Just imagine, he was found 2.5 miles away from his home. How did he get there? There's only more and more questions. 2.5 miles in a total wildness. A 3-year-old boy, just insane. Well, it sounds like a happy ending, right? Boy got found. What else we also can do? We just can't go back home. No, that's the moment when everything turns into a thriller. Let's turn on our imagination, right? You're a 3-year-old boy. You need to walk whole distance of 2.5 miles in a total wilderness, in a forest, full of danger. Even an adult, it will take him several hours and he gonna curse everything around. How did the kid do it? The question remains unanswered. Here's official version. The kid, he just likes bugs, so he was flipping over the stones and somehow unconsciously he just covered all that marathon of 2.5 miles. Oh, by the way, I think he also took a courses of Bear Grylls, because how to survive during 2 icy nights in a pajamas is just a big question. A good luck is not enough. I think you need to have superpowers. Don't you think so? Well, when official version cracks up, here comes a Skinwalker. For those ones who is not in the know, a Skinwalker, it's a Navajo evil witch. He's like a Rubik's Cube of evil spirits. He can turn into an animal or human being. And let's think about it. It kind of matches up everything if you're gonna think about all facts that I told you before. It's just a perfect setup of him being a villain in the story. It's not making any sense, right? Okay, check this out. The highlight of the story is the picture that Sheriff's office posted on social media. His eyes, the way how he stares. It's a glaze, how to explain? It's like a glaze when you just peered at the abyss. They call it 1,000-yard stare, which is terrifying. Well, psychologists gonna come in with their PTSD and defense mechanism, which sounds logical, right? Or no? The thing that I'm saying here is that thousands of people compared the picture before and after and realized it's not the same children, they're not the same, which just makes everything even more weird. And if we think everything from the position of a Skinwalker, we can match everything as I said earlier. Look, 2 hours delay in calling police when parents totally could do it. Well, they saw how a kid was walking away with some weird person and they got terrified and scared. That's why they didn't call right away. A supernatural endurance to walk 2.5 miles? That can explain be easy if it's a Skinwalker and he uses a boy as a shed. For a 3-year-old boy, it's impossible, but for a Skinwalker, why not? That glaze? Well, it's just an evil spirit. He tries to understand the human emotions. So what's the bottom line? The first version is official, right? A boy got lost, has been found, everything is good. Yeah, a lot of questions remain unanswered, but it's still the story, it's still a version, and it can work. And it helps people to sleep at nights. On a second hand, it's a story that tickles your nerves because it's like a horror movie. So the story really matches up. It's really a Ryker Webb came back from the forest, or it's someone else, just using his body as a shed. Sadly, we're never gonna be able to answer to that question. The Webb family keeps it quiet and lives their life. But millions of people still wondering because they still remember the picture before and after of that kid. And they question themselves, what did really happen in a forest?